Okay, we're here for Fan for Racing's preview for the ARCA West Series, a combo event at Phoenix Raceway this weekend. And boy, it's going to be a showdown, Jay.
It is, and that music, man, I can't believe how much that changed things. Of a good way to get the day started, or sometimes we're doing them at night. The reviews and previews at night just gets me upbeat. But I am upbeat for this race. We get to see the West Series in back-to-back weeks as they kick off their season, and then the return of the ARCA Menards Series. We haven't seen them since Daytona, and as you mentioned, the Showdown, both of them at the same track in the same race. Get separate points, but it is two actual division races.
It is indeed. So even though it's one race, each series will collect their own points as they run in the race. So it's an annual combo event with the ARCA Menards Series. So you've got the local series, the ARCA West Series, competing with the national series, the ARCA Menards Series, and it is a full field. It's the second points race of the season for both series. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for each series. And the big question, Jay, is can drivers like Mason Massey carry over his momentum from Kern Raceway into Phoenix? His first race ever in the ARCA Menards Series platform, he won. And now he's in his second race. Can he carry that momentum? And then Joe Gibbs Racing is going to be there. They're expected to be at the front, as they always are. Brent Cruz swept both ARCA platform events at Phoenix last year. I don't think he's on the entry list this year, but Max Reeves is on that entry list. And you might remember him from last year, Jay. He won his first three races as ARCA driver. And he just kept going and going. He had a phenomenal season. And then, of course, Haley Deegan is going to return to the West East competition. She's back for this event. It's her first event since Kern. But before that, the last time she raced in ARCA was in 2020. So it's going to be a big storyline to see what she does this weekend. And remember Thomas Annunziata from last year?
Yep.
Well, he is bouncing back. He's looking for a bounce back at Phoenix. He sees this as a major test and reset point for his campaign. He did score a podium finish last year at this race. So will he be able to do that again at Phoenix? And there's small teams and big names in this event. The entry list includes a lot of big names. Trevor Huddleston, the defending West champion. We've got Kason Brown, Ison Kitzmiller, Ryan Vargas, and Nitro Motorsports is going to have a big presence at this event as well. And so we'll see what happens, how this plays into the championship quest for both of these series.
Yeah, when I look at a combo event like this, we do look for the West Series teams to show up and be competitive and showcase their talent. You mentioned Nitro Motorsports as well as Joe Gibbs Racing coming with the main ARCA Menards Series. Joe Gibbs Racing bringing a loaded gun. It's just a matter of what bullet they put in it because of their developmental program and talent they have under their umbrella. So do I expect a West Series driver to win? Maybe not, but it can happen. We've seen some good runs, but I think the biggest thing is showing what they can do. Just like any other driver, when you get that first or limited starts in the next series up, it's a matter of showcasing your talent. And not just in the combo event itself, but when you talk about the NASCAR Cup Series and O'Reilly Auto Parts being there, a lot of team owners, they get that exposure, direct exposure to these ARCA drivers. So both for the ARCA and the ARCA West, again, that's that showcasing in front of the top teams in the NASCAR O'Reilly and Cup Series. Just a big platform this weekend at Phoenix.
It is a big platform, and definitely looking forward to seeing how these guys race on this big platform. I will tell you one thing, Jay. The ARCA West drivers, when they race with the ARCA Menards Series, it makes them better drivers. To be the best, you've got to be able to beat the best. I'll never forget Eric Jones telling us that in an interview many years ago, but he knew it then, that in order to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And so this is a great learning opportunity for everybody that's going to be racing this weekend to be on this big platform.
And that's where you see drivers like Joey Logano, I think, was one that got noticed when he ran against some Cup guys that were in an ARCA race, noticing these drivers, as well as you mentioned, Eric Jones. That's how Kyle Busch recognized him from the Snowball Derby. Yep. So, yeah, you're right. Being on the track or around them, that's their opportunity for sure.
Yes, indeed. And that's exactly why there is an ARCA Menards series and platform for these drivers to move their way into the NASCAR platform. So let's go ahead and get started with our notes here, because we have quite a few notes about this big event. The General Tire 150 at Phoenix Raceway is on Thursday this week. Yeah, that's kind of unusual, but we'll go with it. March the 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. The local time will be 4 p.m. Mountain time. It will be televised live on Fox Sports 1. So if you're working, set your DVR so that you do not miss this one. It'll also be available on MRN and SiriusXM NASCAR Channel 90. So get your motors running here.
And again, we mentioned this, it's the ARCA Menards Series and the ARCA Menards Series West combining to contest this General Tire 150 on Thursday at Phoenix Raceway. And said it, the race will pay full points for both series. The winner will be credited with a victory in both series.
Okay, and then after winning the ARCA Menards Series opener at Daytona International Speedway with Gio Ruggiero from Joe Gibbs Racing, they are entering 16-year-old Max Reeves in that number 18 Cookout Toyota for this weekend. This is the second event of the season at Phoenix Raceway. Reeves won 3 ARCA Menards Series races in 2025 at Elko Speedway, Madison International Speedway, and Toledo Speedway. He also won 3 ARCA East races at Five Flags Speedway, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and Flat Rock Speedway. Reeves is a protege of the 2000 NASCAR Cup Series champion, Bobby Labonte. So look out, competition. He's going to be one to keep your eyes on this weekend.
Most certainly, and you look at somebody that's backing him like Bobby Labonte, that tells you of who's taking notice of him and take him under their wing, tells you what kind of talent they are.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned Mason Massey, the number 19 Brunt Boots Mongoose Power Solutions Chevrolet, is making his second career ARCA Menards Series West appearance and first ever in the ARCA Menards Series. Now, he's looking to match the feat he made in his West debut on Saturday at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway, when he became the 30th driver in series history to win in his debut.
That's amazing. And Pinnacle Racing Group will have 2 talented teenagers at the control of their entries at Phoenix, with Carson Brown in the number 28 distributor wire and cable Chevrolet. Remember last year, the driver of that car was Brendan Queen. And Tristan McKee is back. He's going to be driving that number 77 minor Chevrolet. McKee won in his debut last August at Watkins Glen International. So I'd say that those are 2 cars to watch this weekend as well. Brown launched his 2026 racing season with a victory at the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour opener at New Smyrna Speedway in February. So some folks, if you've watched that, you've probably seen Carson Brown before.
And you mentioned McKee. He's another young gun you definitely, I think we're going to see a lot more of sooner rather than later.
He's pretty young, but we're going to see a lot of Tristan McKee.
Now, again, you mentioned Haley Deegan being back in the number 16 Napa Auto Care Monster Energy Chevrolet, making her first ARCA Menards Series start since 2020 in her return to Bill McAnally Racing ARCA Menards Series West program. Deegan, the West's first female winner, was with 3 career series wins, finished 6th at Saturday's Kern Raceway.
And you'll also remember Jade Avedizian. She was on the pole last week. She drives the number 90 Yahoo Toyota. She scored her first ARCA Menards Series West Sioux Chief Power Packs Pole Award Saturday night at Kern Raceway. She finished 8th. Top 10 finish for her was really good. Avedizian will be making her second appearance at Phoenix. Last year, she finished 19th in the finale after an early race scrape with its outside wall. So she doesn't want that to happen this week. And I'm sure she is looking back on that and looking to do better this week.
Another young gun making a really solid impression is Taylor Mayhew in the number 17 MMI Services Chevrolet, the 15-year-old son of 7-time West Series winner David Mayhew. Finished third in his series debut at Kern on Saturday. The younger Mayhew will make his ARCA Menards series debut now at Phoenix, where his father won the West race from the pole in 2012.
And last week we had Sean Hingarani driving that number 13 Central Coast Cabinets Toyota. This week it's going to be Taylor Reimer behind the wheel. She is making her second appearance of the season and her first driving the 2024 ARCA Menards Series West owner champion Kelly Souza. Reimer finished 30th at Daytona despite running at the front of the field for much of the day in a Pinnacle Racing Group entry. She finished a career best third at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in 2024.
And finishing third at a dirt track is no easy task, especially when it comes to the ARCA Menards series here. So kudos on that. Now, we mentioned a couple here, but there's 5 female drivers entered: Deegan, Avedizian, Reimer, as well as Isabella Robusto in the number 55 Mobile One Toyota, and Mia Lovell in the number 15 Pine Health Toyota. 3 of them, Lovell, Robusto, and Avedizian, are teammates at Nitro Motorsports. Mention their presence.
Yes, indeed. Now, the General Tire 150 again is at Phoenix Raceway. It's set to start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. local time on Thursday, March the 5th. It will be televised live on Fox Sports 1 and broadcast live on select affiliates of the MRN radio network nationwide. Now, live timing and scoring data and live race audio will be available on arcaracing.com. And for up-to-the-minute updates, make sure you follow at ARCA_racing on X, formerly known as Twitter.
And I am looking on the main ARCA Menards series page, which you want to check out because there's a lot of good information there, some great storylines. Again, they are racing on Thursday. Field limited to 32 starters. Wow, that means we send in some major teams home, plus provisionals. The event will be run under the 2026 ARCA Menards series rules, procedures, and regulations and specifications. In signing into entry or taking part in any of the events described in the entry blank, all competitors agreed to abide by all ARCA decisions. ARCA has no obligations to accept the entry. Any member or vehicle may be restricted from pit area competition for any outstanding obligations, past fines, debts, or suspensions.
And qualifying, the starting lineup will be set up by speeds in a timed session, plus provisionals. No adjustments or repairs may be made on a car after entering pit road to qualify. All cars must make a qualifying attempt, and all drivers must practice before they can qualify. So that's going to be important this week.
As is the pit stop. The race pit stop, brake pitting procedures. There'll be a break at or near lap 75. There'll be no adding or moving tires to or from the pit box once the race is started. Again, this is a lower tier series, the ARCA Menards and West series, so there are different rules here.
And per the ARCA rule book, the maximum tire use at track is the total from home plus purchased at the track for the event is 12. So that's the maximum tire allotment for this week in Avondale, Arizona, for the General Tire 150.
And I believe it is 1 attempt at a green, white, checkered and 1 attempt at a green and white checkered. All right. Well, let's talk about that because, again, I counted 40 entries. If the starting field is 32 and or any provisionals, which I'm assuming would come from one or two, maybe. This is based on my knowledge. It is. I haven't seen this in any of the notes, but when it mentioned provisionals, I imagine at least one maybe from the West Series and one from the ARCA Series, if not more. Generally, the top driver that isn't already qualified, starting with, and it might go to, like you mentioned, a previous past champion. If by chance Trevor Huddleston, let's say, were to not qualify, I don't see that happening, but things happen.
Do we want to go down the list?
All right, we starting from the top or bottom?
Your preference.
All right, I'll start at the top, and I'll hit two of them here. Tony Constantino in the number 1 for Maple Motorsports, as well as Monty Tipton is going to be in a Toyota for Eric Nascimento Sr. And that's the number 4.
That is the vehicle that came in second last week, the number 4. In the number 5, we have Eric Johnson Jr. He is from La Center, Washington. He'll be driving that Sherwin-Williams Toyota for Jerry Pitts, and Dustin Ash will be on top of his pit box. RJ Johnson on top of the pit box for another Jerry Pitts Toyota, and that's for Gavin Ray in the number 7. He hails from Las Vegas, Nevada.
And we're going across the country to get these drivers because the number 9 is Nate Moeller. He's from Lafayette, Ohio, in the Fast Track Racing Ford with Dustin Hillenberg. Looks like he's crew chief in his own team. But then you got Brad Perez in the number 10 from Hollywood, not California, but Hollywood, Florida, in the Race City Graphics Vampire State Ford, another Hillenberg machine. Mike Schrauf calling the shots there.
And in the number 11 is Dustin Hillenberg from Harrisburg, North Carolina. He's with one of those Fast Track Racing Integrity Flooring Toyotas. And Jeremy Petty will be on top of his pit box for his family-owned team, along with Takuma Koga is back in the number 12 from Nagoya, Japan. And he is going to be racing a Dustin Hillenberg Toyota this weekend. And he'll have Andrew Kiernan on top of his pit box. Little connection there between the two cars.
And that expanded what I said, not just across this country, but from other countries. How about that?
Yes.
Then we got a pair of the female drivers, the number 13, Taylor Reamer, we talked about, from Tulsa, Oklahoma, with Kelly Souza. Michael Munoz calling the shots for that Central Coast Cabinets Toyota. And from right there in Phoenix, Arizona, Mia Lovell in the Pine Health Toyota with Ryan London in her ear calling the shots.
And in the number 16 is Haley Deegan from Temecula, California for the Napa Auto Care Chevrolet owned by Bill McAnally. Mario Isola will be on top of her pit box. Sean Samuels is on top of the Bruce Cook Toyota from MMI. And Taylor Mayhew from Atascadero, California, will be driving that number 17 machine.
And Max Reeves is looking to cook it out, as he's got Cookout as the sponsor, coming from Trinity, North Carolina, in that number 18 Joe Gibbs Racing machine. Matt Ross with him as the crew chief. And then last week's winner in the West Series, Mason Massey, comes from Douglasville, Georgia. He's in the number 19 Bill McAnally Chevrolet with Brunt Boots and Mongoose Power Solutions. And he's got Ty Joyner joining him.
And in the number 19 Maple Motorsports Chevrolet this week is Austin Vaughn from Burnsville, Mississippi. He'll have Nigel Bannister on top of his pit box. And then in the number 20 for Nitro Motorsports Toyota is going to be Doug George. Jake Bowman hails from Huntington Beach, California.
And we go back from the East Coast, Julian Dakota from Mayaca City, Florida, in the Austin Canvas Awnings number 25 Toyota. Nick Tucker owned machine. Danny Johnson calling the shots. And on the flip side, the Mark Webb Chevrolet is Carson Brown, that number 28 from New London, North Carolina. He's carrying distributor wire and cable as his sponsor, and got Steve Dawson towing right along with him.
And in the number 41 this week is Robbie Keneally from Madera, California. He's racing the Jan's Racing Ford, owned by Jan Qualkenbush. Brian Kaiser will be on top of his pit box. And Travis Sharp will be calling the shots for Bruce Cook Chevrolet for Jaden Reyna. She's from Yorktown, Virginia, and she'll be driving the number 42 MMI Chevrolet.
And now we got to go north because Brad Smith comes out of Shelby Township, Michigan, in the Gary's Speed Shop number 48 Ford. Self-owned team got Rand Bitter helping him out as the crew chief. And your defending West Series champion from California, Somas, California, Trevor Huddleston in the number 50, owned by Dad Tim Huddleston. Jeff Schrader making the calls for that High Point Racing Race Car Factory automobile.
And we know John Rayum is going to be on top of the pit box. He owns the RBR Racing Chevrolet number 51, but they don't have a driver listed. So that, I guess, we'll find out at a later time. Also, Isabel Robusto is back in the number 55. She's from Fort Mill, South Carolina. She'll be driving the Mobile One Toyota, and Joe Tovo will be the owner, but Glenn Parker is her crew chief. Joe Tovo, by the way, owns Nitro Motorsports.
And the Race Car Factory putting out several race cars here as High Point Racing Race Car Factory, also the sponsor on the number 56 of Andrew Chapman, who comes from Pasadena, California. That's another Tim Huddleston machine. Travis Thurkettle overseeing this one. And we mentioned him out of Colts Neck, New Jersey. Thomas Annunziato in the number 70 JBL Toyota. Nick Tucker-owned machine, Shannon Roche. And if you're familiar with the ARCA Menards series, you know that name.
And this is one of Jay's favorites in the number 71. Andy Jakowiak is back from Buffalo, New York. He'll be driving the Phillips 66 Lubricants Wayland Chevrolet for Kevin Lampier and Mike Dayton on top of his pit box. Al Libert will be calling the shots for the Jonathan Rayum Chevrolet from the number 72 Allied Cloud LLC. Cody Dennison is behind the wheel from Hokes Bluff, Alabama.
And we mentioned the young gun Tristan McCree. He comes from Kannapolis, North Carolina. I believe that's Earnhardt's hometown. So you got that kind of pedigree there. He's in the number 77 Minor Chevrolet for Mark Webb. Kevin Reed Jr. Helping him out. And then you got Doug Howe helping out Isaac Kitzmiller, who comes from Maysville, West Virginia, in the ALL Construction Carter Cat number 79 Chevrolet, owned by Cody Robar.
All right. Now, in the number 96 this week is Jeff McConey. He comes from Wilbraham, Maryland, and he'll have McConey's setup shop on his Ford. Alex Clubb is the owner, and Jonathan Clubb will be on the pit box. Calling the shots for this next team is Matthew Wright for the Tim Goulet Chevrolet with smart grid integrations on the side of that Chevrolet, and driven by Bobby Earnhardt from Cleveland, North Carolina. That car again is the number 89.
And the number 90 will be Jade Avedizian out of Clovis, California. Yahoo picking up the sponsorship on that Toyota. Again, they got Kristen Tovo, but I believe that's part of the Nitro Motorsports organization. Shane Wilson, another very well-known crew chief, calling the shots. And then here's another one I got to highlight, coming out of the monster truck arena temporarily. Ryan Vargas in the number 91 Maple Motorsports Ford, comes out of La Mirada, California. Again, it's owned by Michael Maples, and Kyle Tautman calling the shots there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got the winningest driver in ARCA on top of the pit box this week for the Cody Robar number 97 ALL Construction Carter Cat Chevrolet, and that's Frank Kimmel. So that's going to be good news for Jason Kitzmiller, who's behind the wheel of that number 97 from Maysville, West Virginia. And Michael Maples is behind the wheel of the number 99 Maples Chevrolet this weekend. And Chris Banskoy is on top of his pit box calling the shots.
Maples not going to let his team have all the fun, I guess.
You're going to get out there and check it out. He's from Choctaw, Oklahoma.
And from Pascagoula, Mississippi, we talked about him, Cole Denton in the 01 Jan's Towing Ford, owned by Jan Quackenbush, with Chris Greeny making the calls there. You want to learn more about him? Stay tuned for an interview. I believe that's set up for later this afternoon with Sal Segalis. So You'll be able to find out more about Cole Denton. And then Alex Clubb from Morris, Illinois in the 03 self-owned Yavapari bottle gas Ford, with Brian Clubb making the calls atop the pit box.
And our last two drivers are David Smith from Sydney, British Columbia, behind the wheel of the number 5 Toyota, the Shockwave Marine suspension for his own race team. Brandon Carlson is on top of the pit box, as is Tony Huffman for the number 6. Bobby Hillis is behind the wheel. He hails from Phoenix, Arizona, and he'll have first impression press Hinkley lighting on the side of his Wayne Peterson Chevrolet.
And I know we didn't cover all 50 states, but a wide variety, obviously different sections or areas, but also then 2 different countries, as we got there 3, if you count the U.S. We got a Canadian driver as well as one from Japan. I love the ARCA Menards series. I'm excited because we're going to see 40 compete for 32 spots. But I also feel the heartbreak already for 8 teams. You know, I mean, that's the good and bad of it.
Yeah, some teams are going to go home. So you want to catch the qualifying when that happens. And Jay, who's your pick this week?
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there, man. I got some odds-on favorites. Again, I kind of got to give the nod towards those that are in the ARCA Menards main series. But I think if you look at Trevor Huddleston, maybe from the West, Robbie Keneally needs to have a bounce back week.
Yes.
After a bad finish last weekend. The other one, I guess, would kind of be a sentimental favorite. I like seeing Ryan Vargas back. I look for a good run. I don't know about a race winning, but it's Phoenix. We saw it last weekend with a little bit of chaos. You never know who's going to come out. I really just look forward to a good race. But from the West, with the top driver, I would have to go with odds-on favorite being Trevor Huddleston. Hailie Deegan, because she's got experience at NASCAR's top 3 levels, I look for a really good showing from her as well, though.
I'll tell you, that number 18, Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, has been a hard car to beat. And Max Reeves is behind the wheel of that car this weekend. We know how well he did last year. Is he going to come out in this showdown and show everybody what he's got? But I think he might also get some competition from the other young gun that's in this series, and that is Tristan McKee. I think these guys are going to go at it, and it's going to be fun to watch. And I'll be surprised if they're not in the race up front, battling it out. Let me see what car. Tristan McKee's in that number 77 car this weekend. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one to watch.
And there, too, again, not to discount the West Series, we talked about Bill McAnally Racing having kind of taken a break or off year from full-time competition in the West as they went into the Truck Series. They're back. You got Hailie Deegan in one of the machines, but also last week's winner, Mason Massey. So they are the top team of the West Series. They obviously didn't lose a step in that year break. So, again, I think it's going to be some tough competition for sure. I wouldn't say anybody's got a gimme race.
I'd say Mason Massey is a good one also. With he has over 90 NASCAR starts, and we know he knows how to race with his results at Kern. Another driver that I think you want to keep your eye on is that number 70 Nitro Motorsports machine driven by Thomas Annunziata. I think he had that podium finish last year. He wants more, I think, this year.
I could see that again. Phoenix is one of those uncategorized tracks we talked about on Hot Topics last night, 1 mile in length. So it doesn't really qualify as a short track. It kind of runs similar to a road course. We've seen some road course drivers that seem to excel there based on the corners. So Thomas Annunziata, a good road course racer, I think is a good fit for Phoenix. Well, I'm doing what you said. As soon as we get done with this, I'm going to my DVR and setting that up.
Yes, indeed. Actually, it's 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be 5 o'clock our time. Yeah, for the race. Now, do watch for more coming from Fan for Racing Radio. And we've mentioned one thing already. We're getting ready for an interview this afternoon with Cole Denton. He's a young driver racing for Jan's Towing and Racing this season. Sal is going to be doing that interview with Cole Denton, and it's your chance to kind of get to know him. He is a young, up-and-coming driver, and you get a chance to see who he is and what he's all about from our interview. I'll get that out probably tonight, so watch for that coming out here tonight. Also, tomorrow night, the Race Chat Live guys are back. I call them the Three Amigos with Chris Crichton, Taz Taylor, and we've got CJ Sports on board for their discussion about all the top storylines that are happening in NASCAR right now. So you'll want to catch that at 6 p.m. Central Time here at Panther Racing Radio. And then Jay and I are going to be working on the previews. The Xfinity and the Cup Series are racing at Phoenix this race weekend, along with the ARCA West Series. Jay, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, and you want to hear opinions and takes on the different topics of NASCAR world, you definitely will get it. Tune in to Race Chat Live. They definitely have some opinions and have a lot of fun working together as a trio, as Sharon mentioned. I just remember I caught part of their first show, and they had a bag of popcorn with each other, and we're just having a good old time.
Yes, indeed. So check that out at 6 o'clock Central Time tomorrow, Wednesday. And then on Friday, Taz and I will be getting together to do the fantasy report to help you with your fantasy picks for this weekend out at Phoenix Raceway. Any chance you think Tyler Reddick can make it 4 in a row, Jay?
You know, I didn't get a chance after last night to look at that, at what his stats were. I'm sure we'll hear more about it through the week. With the way he is running in that team, 2311 as an organization is on point right now. I would have to give some credence to it, even if it is not his best track, because we've seen him just absolutely tearing it up right now.
Well, he says that's what his goal is this weekend at Phoenix. So watch out, competition. It's going to be, again, fun to watch. And then, of course, we'll be back on the other side of the race weekend on Monday night with our Hot Topic Sound Off at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, or 8:15 p.m. Central. Okay. Anything else you want to say before we move on, Jay?
No, just excited this West ARCA Menards Series and West Combo. Again, if you aren't familiar with the ARCA Menards Series racing, really is one of the, I say, biggest races of the year in this combo event. Under the same platform as the Cup Series, provides for a really, really great weekend of racing out there at Phoenix. It's not championship weekend, but it's still a big event.
Yes, it is. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. We're Fan for Racing Radio, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.